So the Justin Marks Pitbull NASCAR venture known as Trackhouse launched in 2021, and with a definitive mission, guys. They were here to achieve NASCAR domination. Something you cannot deny because Pitbull in fact is nicknamed Mr. Worldwide and mentions it in every single song.
Mr. Worldwide, Mr. Worldwide, bada bing, bada boom, Mr. Worldwide.
So by pitching this plot, he and the Trackhouse Entertainment Group actually got a decent amount of sponsors for Daniel Suarez in their inaugural season, scoring iFly, CommScope, and Coca-Cola despite having no previous team history. They'd officially sell out the entire number 99 in its inaugural season thanks to the Marcus Lemonis Bonus. Camping World Holdings would purchase 19 races worth of primary sponsorship on the Daniel Suarez machine. This Marcus Lemonis Bonus would be the thing to help Trackhouse towards their ultimate goal of domination. The first 9 races of this partnership would see Camping World Holdings represent the Camping World brand beginning at the Homestead Miami Speedway. This was a race where Suarez would lead 1 lap en route to earning Trackhouse its first top 15 finish in its 3rd ever race. Las Vegas the next weekend saw Suarez lead 12 laps as a result of a strategy gamble. Now, they did not get the finish they wanted, but for the fact that this is only their 4th race and Trackhouse was in this position, that is good considering their lack of Cup experience. The day was a positive for Trackhouse, and it made Marcus Lemonis more confident in his investment. The Camping World colors were next represented on the car for the best drive of Daniel Suarez's Cup career to date. With no prior dirt experience, Suarez, from mid-pack, drove all the way up to 4th in Stage 1 and 2nd in Stage 2. Daniel Suarez would get down and dirty, leading 58 laps on the dirt, which set a new career best after surpassing his 52 laps led in the 2019 Kentucky race with Stewart-Haas Racing. Daniel Suarez, unfortunately, he would not become the amigo with victory lane. Joey Logano, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. would excel in the final stage, but he would bring home a solid 4th place finish. This, in fact, would be the best finish by a Camping World car in the NASCAR Cup Series, outdoing Clint Bowyer's mark of 8th set in 2007. A few races later, the final run for the blue and yellow Camping World paint job, that awesome livery, was in NASCAR's longest race, the Coca-Cola 600. Now, was Suarez in the 99 able to keep up with Kyle Larson? Of course not. I mean, come on, what type of question is that? This guy was thinking about the winning ride back to the Hendrick Motorsports shop long before this race was over. When Speed Racer's in the zone, you just hope he does not show any mercy to anyone in the 40-car field. Amidst the slaughter, Daniel Suarez and the Trackhouse team finished 15th on the night, a solid finish for Trackhouse Racing in their first ever Coca-Cola 600. It's hard to get through these races. Trackhouse and Camping World went out on a solid note. So in the 9 races where Daniel Suarez represented the Camping World side of the brand, you can see he put up some decent numbers. Charlotte being a part of a late spring blossom in performance for the Trackhouse team. Daniel Suarez in the next 5 races after that would rattle off 5 straight finishes inside the top 15, cutting down his playoff cut line deficit to just 48 points with 7 races left in the Cup regular season. Road America would be a prime race to battle test this young Trackhouse team and show if they had the capability of being playoff contenders in this first year. On the car for this pivotal stretch for a majority of the remaining races would be Camping World Holdings, but this time they would return with not only a sense of patriotism but also a different side of the Camping World brand. Marcus Lemonis would use his bonus to showcase the Good Sam Roadside Assistance Program. This brand would be sported on the car for the company's remaining primary races, so this sweet angel, this divine spirit known as Good Sam, would be riding along with him quite a bit. And this holy essence, this energy, would need to make a good first impression from the 11th position. Good Sam, he was on the edge a bit early, swapping paint with Martin Truex Jr., but the hope was that he would settle down. This spirit would help guide Daniel Suarez forward and hopefully to a win, or at least a top 10 to keep him afloat in the standings.
A situation for Daniel Suarez early as he's trying to climb the hill to turn 6.
I think the tires are up. There seems to be some kind of a failure in the drive line of this car.
On just the 3rd lap with Good Sam, Daniel Suarez would have a catastrophic issue as something broke in the transmission of the car and it would cause the 99 to go back to the garage for extensive repair. Returning to this race well out of contention, and essentially this would kill a lot of their momentum in that playoff fight. Returning to the race well out of contention, Daniel Suarez finished all the way back in 36th, scoring 1 point for the participation in this race and losing tons of ground in the NASCAR playoff race. This was not the energy, the spirit that they were looking for in Good Sam. And while it just seemed like a bad occurrence, something seemed a bit spooky about this whole ordeal. The Trackhouse team quickly shook it off, moved on, and looked towards the next destination on the tour, which was Atlanta. The first repeat track in Trackhouse racing history, and one that they raced well in their first trip to Georgia. As back in March, Daniel Suarez in that race, he raced inside the top 10 for a majority of the second half, even scoring a stage point by finishing 10th at the conclusion of stage 2. If it weren't for that untimely speeding penalty, the racing god striking down Daniel Suarez, it would have been a statement top 10 for this Trackhouse team. But no worries this time. They have Good Sam. He is going to make sure with his good roadside assurance that Daniel Suarez does not speed on pit road or get into any accidents. After all, he's running this special livery to commemorate autism awareness. This is going to be a big day for the Good Sam number 99.
Look at the momentum there, and they spin from turn 2 into the wall.
Daniel Suarez.
However, on lap 31 of the race, not even through stage 1, Daniel Suarez was helpless as a 4-car chain reaction crash saw his competitive chances extinguished, later finishing 36th in the race once again. So far, Good Sam had run 2 races and had scored 2 total points, the participation points. So after the race, Daniel Suarez met with Justin Marks and his guys about the strange occurrence, debriefing about this whole ordeal that still seemed just a bit off. They didn't have any of these issues in the first 20 races of the season, and now all of a sudden, 2 times, they're out of the race before the end of stage 1? Still, no one thought twice about Good Sam, as the deal still had 8 more races, and Trackhouse could not scrap this Lemonis bonus. They were getting paid the big bucks, and they've got to keep them on the car. Fortunately, with Good Sam on the hood for the next week, Suarez would do a decent job with the standard paint jobs debut, finishing 20th in Lobster Country. Daniel Suarez described race 3 with the Good Sam colors as follows. "We just couldn't get our car to turn like we needed to today. We were pretty good on long runs, but we wanted better." As the series had a much needed Olympic break, the Good Sam spirit was back and ready to help Trackhouse get back on track at Watkins Glen. Through the first 2 stages, all seemed calm and well. However, in the middle of it, Travis Mack would make a unique discovery about Good Sam. On the surface, Good Sam was all bright, smiley, sweet angel, nothing wrong with him. But it turns out that Good Sam was born with a malignant tumor attached to the back of his head. Hence the name Good Sam instead of just Sam. Instead of removing this tumor, doctors chose to just sew it in. And the contact with Martin Truex Jr. at Road America awakened Bad Sam, awakened this evil spirit, causing an internal battle between these 2 forces that were magnificent, considering that they share the same sweet, innocent face. Unfortunately, by the time Travis Mack had found this out, it was too late, as Bad Sam's bloody, evil spirit, his devilish personality, had taken over Good Sam in its entirety and would wreak havoc on the team at Watkins Glen, damaging the battery and causing the car to lose power in stage 3. This spirit had already caused havoc with the 99 team and was hoping to do the same with other teams down the stretch. However, before any other damage could be done, the divine Good Sam spirit awakened and fought Big Sam and locked him away for good. Regaining control, and now this demonic and chaotic curse was gone for good. And that's all it took for the performance to semi-return to normal. Albeit after 10 Good Sam races in 2021, the statistics look like this. Despite Daniel Suarez running this paint job, this livery the most, the Good Sam colors never finished in the top 10. Perhaps you can say it's just a part of the recovery for Good Sam, but then again, Freeway Insurance in their lone race at Texas was awarded a 10th place finish. From that angle, it makes sense as to why the Marcus Lemonis bonus was not picked up for 2022, as the Good Sam colors, at least in 2021, proved to be some cursed NASCAR paint for Daniel Suarez and Trackhouse. So anyways, this is Nathan for NRF Productions signing out, and just remember, guys and gals, life's a beach and then you drive.